Have you ever wondered if your clothes are saying things about you that you'd never say yourself? As we grow older, what we wear begins to matter more than ever, not for fashion's sake, but for dignity, confidence, and the message we send without even speaking. The truth is, certain choices in clothing can unintentionally give off signals. We don't mean to send signals that whisper that we've let go, that we've stopped paying attention, or even worse, that we've lost pride in ourselves. This isn't about impressing others or chasing trends. It's about keeping your self-respect intact and making sure you're not unknowingly projecting something you never intended. In this video, we're going to talk about 8 things you should never wear in old age because they don't just look bad, they scream low class. These aren't just opinions or personal tastes. These are patterns observed again and again in how people are perceived, especially in their later years. If you're someone who believes that how you present yourself reflects how you feel inside, then this video is especially for you. Stay tuned until the end, because some of these may surprise you. And once you recognize them, you'll understand exactly what small changes can make a huge difference, not just in how others see you, but in how you feel about yourself every time you walk out the door. Number 1. Cheap-looking fabrics. Not all fabrics are created equal, and once you reach a certain age, the wrong material can send the wrong message before you've even said a word. Cheap-looking fabrics, those that shine too much, wrinkle too easily, or cling in all the wrong places, can take an otherwise decent outfit and make it look careless. These materials may be inexpensive or easy to find, but they often look disposable. And when you wear something that looks disposable, people assume you've stopped investing in yourself. Let's take Evelyn and Ruth, both 75, both heading to a casual lunch at their local community centre. Evelyn wears a soft cotton blouse with subtle structure and flow, something that holds its shape but moves naturally with her. Ruth wears a synthetic top that shines under the light and shows every fold and crease from where it sat on a hanger. Even if Ruth's top is newer or cost more, it doesn't matter. The fabric does the talking, and what it says isn't flattering. Materials like polyester blends or stiff synthetics often promise easy care, but they usually wrinkle quickly, cling to places they shouldn't, and make movement look awkward. Worse, some of these fabrics reflect light in a way that exaggerates every bump and fold, drawing attention where you don't want it. At our age, we deserve comfort. But comfort should never come at the cost of elegance. And no, elegance isn't about being fancy. It's about looking like you still respect the body that carries you. Clothes made of natural fibers like cotton, linen blends, or soft knits tend to fall more gracefully and feel better on the skin and hold up better over time. You don't have to throw away everything synthetic, but be selective. Hold it up to the light, check the seams, feel the fabric with your fingers. Ask yourself if it brings dignity to your day. Because the truth is, people may not notice when you wear a good fabric, but they always notice when you don't. It's not about chasing fashion. It's about refusing to look like you've stopped trying. When your clothes look cheap, people may assume your standards are too, and you know that's not who you are. Number 2. Excessive logos or branding. Wearing clothing plastered with oversized logos, slogans, or brand names might seem harmless, but in reality, it can send a message that feels out of touch or even desperate. When we were younger, wearing a popular logo was about status or fitting in. But at this stage of life, your dignity speaks louder than any designer label ever could. Picture Leonard and Gary, both in their late 70s. Leonard wears a clean, neutral pullover that complements his frame and lets his natural presence stand out. Gary, on the other hand, walks in with a bright hoodie covered in loud branding from top to bottom. It's not that Gary doesn't have taste, it's that his clothes are doing all the talking, and they're shouting the wrong thing. Instead of looking sharp or current, the effect is often the opposite. It can make a man appear as though he's clinging to youth, trying to stay relevant by leaning on a brand, rather than letting his character speak for itself. Logos aren't inherently bad, but when they dominate the outfit, they take the spotlight off you and put it on a corporation. And let's be honest, no one over 70 needs to advertise for a sneaker company or a soda brand on their chest. It's not just about style, it's about self-awareness. Clothes filled with branding often come across as juvenile, and for older adults, it creates a strange contrast. Instead of aging with quiet authority and presence, it comes off like a man trying to borrow confidence from his clothing rather than drawing it from within. There's power in understatement, a solid colour, a soft pattern, a classic fit. These things say something far more meaningful than any logo ever could. They say you're at ease with who you are, not trying to be anyone else. They say you've lived long enough to understand that value doesn't come from what's printed on your shirt. It comes from what you carry in your voice, your manner, and your memory. So next time you reach for something with a big brand name on it, pause. Ask yourself who it's really serving, your sense of style, or someone else's profit margin. Because the most attractive thing you can wear is self-respect. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Number 3, ill-fitting clothes. There's nothing that can drag down your appearance faster than clothes that don't fit your body, whether they're too loose or too tight. Ill-fitting garments do more than make you look sloppy. They send a message that you've stopped caring. And that message can be louder than you think. Picture 2 men, both 76 years old. One wears a shirt that drapes like a curtain and pants that bunch around his ankles. The other wears a button-up that fits his shoulders and slacks that sit just right on his waist. They might have similar incomes, health, or even the same shoes, but the way they present themselves tells 2 very different stories. Baggy clothes can make you look like you're hiding, or worse, like you've given up. Clothes that are too tight? They can make you appear like you're trying too hard to hold on to a past that's already moved on. There's dignity in dressing for the body you have today, not the one you used to have, or the one you wish you still had. Tailoring doesn't have to mean expensive suits or designer brands. It means knowing your shape and choosing clothes that gently follow your frame, not fight against it. And if you've recently lost weight or gained a few pounds, it's worth revisiting your wardrobe. Holding on to clothes that no longer fit is like holding on to versions of yourself that no longer serve you. Dressing well in old age isn't about standing out. It's about honoring who you are right now. When your clothes fit you well, you walk differently. You sit with more ease. You speak with more assurance. And whether people realize it or not, they treat you with more respect. Because, like it or not, the world reads your clothes before it hears your words. Number 4, worn-out shoes. You can tell a lot about someone by their shoes. It might sound old-fashioned, but scuffed soles, peeling edges, or cracked leather have a way of speaking louder than the words that come out of your mouth. And when you're older, every detail counts. Shoes aren't just functional. They reflect how much you care about yourself. Think about Harold and Dennis, both 81, retired and enjoying their golden years. Harold wears shoes that are clean, well-maintained, and have clearly been chosen with care. Dennis, on the other hand, wears sneakers with frayed laces and soles worn thin from years of use. He might think nobody notices, but they do. People pick up on those signals even if they don't say anything. Worn-out shoes give the impression that you've stopped paying attention, that you've stopped showing up for yourself. And that impression doesn't just affect how others see you, it changes how you see yourself. Because when your shoes are falling apart, something in your confidence starts to fray too. You don't need to spend a fortune. You just need to be selective. Stick to classic, comfortable, timeless designs. Make sure they're clean, polished if they're leather, and replaced when they've clearly reached the end of their road. And if bending over to tie your laces or struggling with stiff shoes has become a daily challenge, it might be time to explore options that offer both ease and style. There are slip-on designs now that look elegant and feel supportive, so you don't have to sacrifice comfort to look put together. And let's not forget safety. Old shoes often mean slippery soles or poor arch support, and that can lead to falls, which, in our age, it is no small matter. The small act of wearing solid, presentable shoes does more than protect your feet. It grounds you. It tells people you're still standing tall, still showing up, still paying attention to the world and your place in it. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 4 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Number 5. Outdated accessories. There's a quiet way time sneaks into your appearance, and it often shows up in the details, particularly the accessories we carry or wear without a second thought. That old belt with the cracking leather, the glasses frame that hasn't seen a new shape since the 1980s, or the handbag that's been patched one too many times. These aren't just harmless signs of nostalgia. They can quickly signal that you're holding on to the past in ways that are aging you more than helping you. Let's look at two women, Norma and Alice, both 74. Norma carries a soft leather handbag in a classic colour, something well cared for but timeless. Alice, meanwhile, brings her belongings in a worn tote with faded cartoon prints from decades ago. She might feel attached to it, or maybe she hasn't thought twice about replacing it. But to everyone around her, that bag doesn't look vintage. It just looks tired. Accessories speak, and in your later years they speak louder. When something like a belt, watch, pair of glasses, or even a hat doesn't match the energy or care you put into the rest of your appearance, it breaks the whole picture. People may not know why something feels off, but they feel it, and it subtly shifts how they respond to you. Worse, it can do the same to how you see yourself. You don't need to throw out everything old, but you do need to ask whether what you're wearing still reflects the person you are now. We all evolve, and your accessories should too. Holding on to an object from 20 years ago isn't loyalty, it's inertia. And inertia doesn't help you move forward. Start small. You replace one thing. Update your reading glasses with a frame that suits your current face shape. Try a belt in a fresh, neutral colour. Choose a bag that isn't flashy, but feels solid and intentional. You'll be surprised at how much younger, more composed, and more confident you feel when the little things around you are as current as the wisdom inside you. After all, growing older isn't about staying stuck. It's about staying sharp. And sometimes, the sharpest change you can make is the one dangling from your wrist or hanging from your shoulder. Number 6. Juvenile graphics or prints. There's something jarring about seeing a grown man or woman in their 70s wearing a shirt with a cartoon character, a silly slogan, or a trendy graphic meant for someone 5 decades younger. It's not that laughter or playfulness has an age limit, it doesn't. But the message your clothing sends should match the depth of the life you've lived. When you wear a shirt that looks like it was picked up in the teenage section, it doesn't say you're youthful. It says you've lost track of what suits you now. Take Linda and Barbara, both 78. Linda shows up to a weekend gathering wearing a simple, soft-tone blouse with a delicate pattern that complements her features. Barbara arrives in a t-shirt with a talking taco and the words, "Let's salsa," printed across the chest. The room doesn't laugh. They blink. Because it's not charming, it's confusing. And whether she realizes it or not, that confusion casts a shadow over the grace she otherwise carries. When you reach a certain stage in life, you've earned the right to be taken seriously without being somber. But juvenile prints and loud gimmicks on clothing do the opposite. They can turn a thoughtful conversation into a quiet judgment. It's not about being uptight. It's about being aware. The truth is, a shirt with a cartoon or a trendy phrase might feel fun when you put it on. But out in the world, it often comes across as trying too hard, or, worse, trying to hide. Because humor, when forced onto a garment, rarely lands with the dignity you think it might. Instead, aim for subtlety. Choose patterns that reflect your calm confidence. Soft florals, classic stripes, earthy textures. These don't scream. They speak gently. They say you know who you are, and they don't need to be funny to be warm or loud to be seen. If you've ever wondered why people aren't engaging with you the way they used to, take a moment to glance at your shirt. Is it speaking for you in a voice that isn't yours? You've lived through eras, movements, and moments that younger generations can't even imagine. Don't let a silly slogan drown out all that history, because dignity doesn't need to perform. It just needs to show up quietly and consistently. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 6 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Number 7. Mismatched or loud colors. Color has power. It can lift your mood, brighten your face, and even bring warmth to the people around you. But when colors are mismatched, too loud, or clash aggressively, they don't just distract, they overwhelm. In your younger years, maybe you experimented with neon greens, hot pinks, or bold prints that looked like they came from a carnival tent. That's fine. But after a certain point in life, harmony matters more than shock value. Imagine two friends, Earl and Samuel, both 80, meeting for coffee. Earl wears a navy cardigan with a light blue shirt and soft beige pants. Nothing fancy, but every piece complements the next. Samuel arrives in a bright orange sweater, lime green pants, and a red cap. The energy in the room shifts, and not in a good way. Instead of looking lively, Samuel looks like a walking contradiction. Loud, but unclear. Visible, but not seen. Wearing loud or clashing colors past a certain age can send mixed messages. It can make it seem like you're chasing attention rather than commanding respect. And that's not what you want. Because the truth is, your presence should speak louder than your palette. You've lived a long time. You've weathered loss, celebrated milestones, and carried wisdom most people haven't earned yet. Your wardrobe should echo that depth, not distract from it. Choosing colors that work together, soft grays, deep blues, warm earth tones, doesn't mean you're boring. It means you understand balance. And balance is what people trust. Mismatched colors, on the other hand, suggest chaos or carelessness. even when that's the farthest thing from the truth. Start by looking at your closet and noticing which pieces you always feel good in. There's a reason for that. Maybe it's the way the color brings out your eyes or softens your skin tone. Maybe it's the peace that comes from not having to apologize for what you're wearing. Build around that. One good color can anchor an entire look. And when in doubt, simplify. Simplicity never embarrasses you. Clashing colors, on the other hand, can say something you never meant to say, that you're out of step with yourself. And at this point in life, you've earned the right to walk in sync with everything you are. Number 8. See-through fabrics or visible undergarments. There's a difference between dressing comfortably and dressing carelessly. One of the clearest lines between the two is drawn when what is meant to stay hidden becomes visible. Thin fabrics that show more than intended. Blouses that become transparent under light. Pants that reveal undergarments when you sit down. These aren't just fashion missteps. They send the wrong message at an age where grace should be the headline. Picture two women, Darlene and Rose, both in their early 80s, attending a Sunday brunch. Darlene wears a soft cream blouse layered over a light tank, ensuring coverage without sacrificing comfort. Rose, meanwhile, chose a pastel shirt that looks modest indoors, but under sunlight it turns see-through, revealing the outline of her bra. She didn't mean for that to happen, but it did, and the people around her noticed, even if they didn't say anything. Accidental exposure can be one of the fastest ways to lose control over how others perceive you. And in older age, when so much of your presence is built on wisdom and quiet dignity, that loss can feel especially uncomfortable. Clothes that show too much aren't just inappropriate, they create tension. They make others avert their gaze. They invite judgment that you didn't ask for and don't deserve. You might think it's not a big deal, or that no one is really paying attention, but they are. And what they take away from those small details affects how they treat you, talk to you, and listen to you. This doesn't mean you need to dress like a nun. It means being aware of how your clothing behaves in different light, movement, or settings. Test fabrics under daylight before wearing them out. Sit, stand, bend. See what shows. Choose undergarments that match your skin tone rather than your outfit, and use layering pieces when needed. None of this is about being old-fashioned. It's about being prepared. You've lived long enough to know that the smallest oversight can cast the biggest shadow. At this point in your life, you shouldn't have to second-guess your clothing or feel nervous when you leave the house. You deserve to move through your day, knowing that every part of you is covered with the same respect you've spent decades building. Final thoughts. Now that you've heard all 8, take a quiet moment and ask yourself which of these have slipped into your wardrobe without you even realizing it. Which ones might be holding you back from presenting the version of yourself that you truly want the world to see? The good news is that none of these things are permanent. They're just habits, small choices made over time. And habits can be changed. Whether it's swapping out worn shoes, letting go of outdated accessories, or choosing fabrics that actually flatter your frame, every change you make is a step toward reclaiming not just your appearance, but your pride. Dressing with dignity doesn't mean being fancy. It means being intentional. It's about showing the world that you still have standards, that you still care, and that you still have something to say without ever opening your mouth. Because when people see someone in their 70s or 80s dressed with care and confidence, they don't just see an older person. They see someone who's lived, learned, and hasn't stopped growing. And that's something truly powerful. So if you've recognized something today that made you pause, that made you think twice, don't brush it off. That's your intuition speaking. And it's right. This isn't about vanity. It's about self-respect. It's about remembering that no matter your age, You still deserve to feel proud of the person you see in the mirror. And sometimes it all starts with what you choose to wear when you get up in the morning. Thank you for joining us today. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one thing you learned today and how you plan to use it in your life. Your thoughts are important to us, so don't hesitate to share them. Reading your comments gives us great motivation and encouragement. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.